Hello YouTube, this is swtorPaladin. I haven't done one of these in a long time, and but that doesn't mean I haven't been active. It just means I haven't made the video. So, as well as I do Star Wars and especially TOR, I have a love-hate relationship with them, and I make these posts from time to time, how I'd fix the game, and of course, since the SWTR forum is basically nothing but company-sponsored trolls. And by that I mean they are encouraged and literally sponsored by the company, BioWare, to troll the living shit out of anybody who says anything about the game that isn't completely positive. I make posts on off-site, and that's also why I have my YouTube channel. So these aren't all posted by me. These are just posts that I've posted, and you can go check these out for yourself. I wanted to go over a couple of them. I'm not going to read the responses. I don't want to hear it. I don't give a shit. And if anyone posts anything negative about me or my opinion, and if it's unconstructive on my YouTube channel, I immediately ban. I don't even finish reading what you have to say. So don't waste your time. If you're going to say something positive or something constructive, then cool. If not, then instantly banned. I'm not even joking. I've banned as many, if not more, people, and I've actually posted anything nice or constructive. So, but I wanted to go through a couple of these because I'm always telling my friends about these posts that I make, these ideas that I have, and they have pages and pages. This is actually the only one that's been really positive, and I'll open this one really quick. This actually has 7 pages of positive stuff. Honestly, nobody's really disagreed with this one. That's pretty cool. 7 pages, but I think the point of this one, as you can see, is there's been no BioWare posts whatsoever. But agree, I'd like this, agreed, sign. 7 pages of people agreeing and signing and stuff, and BioWare, of course, just turned a blind eye. But rest of these, not so much. I'm going to ignore what they have to say, because again, just sponsored, purely unadulterated sponsored trolls. But I'm going to go over a couple of these. This is one I made last night, conquests and how to fix them. You can see there's already 2 pages. Oops, I'm not going to read what they have to say, so I'm going to stop there. So this is one I made last night. There's already 2 pages of stuff. Like I said, not going to read it. Basically says, BioWare, another lost opportunity. And I try to make these as constructive as I can, because the mods are very quick to ban anything critical of the game. If you want to bash other people, as long as you don't call them out by name, you can completely legitimately destroy every single thread they ever make. But being critical of the game without being constructive, your posts just disappear. So I try to make them as constructive as possible while still remaining critical. So a lot of this is dialed back from what I wanted to say, because saying BioWare, you're a bunch of fucking idiots, just as much as you want to say it, just doesn't do anything. So another lost opportunity. 2nd week now, no conquest missions to do a rogue on the planet. Colossal disappointment. There literally aren't words I can say that express how I express the deep disgust and disappointment I have right now towards your game and the direction you seem to deliberately take month to month. Whoever is programming the weekly conquest missions legitimately cannot possibly have any clue whatsoever about what we want. You could have just left the planets alone, made something cool and unique for each planet. Each planet has heroics. Could have just done that and let the planets rotate naturally, or better yet, just make all of the planets available and let us choose for ourselves. You could have a planet with all the PvP, a planet with all the GSF, a planet with the ops, a planet with the crafting. Who cares? Who cares? Again, like I said, BioWare doesn't play this fucking game. So why do they give a shit? Why don't they just let us do whatever we want? But they keep screwing around, they keep micromanaging it, nothing makes sense. And week after week after week. And I close out with, just give each planet some unique characteristics and leave it alone. And then, oh, whoops, I accidentally read some stuff. My guild name invalidates any points I might have had. Do you see what I mean? Like, what's that have to do with anything? I shouldn't have accidentally scrolled down a little too far. You can see the quality of the subscription base. And keep in mind, those are subscribers. I mean, that's just mind-blowing that they allow that. So anyway, there's that one. Let's check out some other ones. Conquest not fix them. I just did that. These people are having some questions. Oh, it's Jaxo. Resource exhaustion. What rewards? This was another troll fest. BioWare themselves asked what they wanted for ranked PvP rewards, and then turned around and said, we're not actually doing them, but they'll be considered later. That was there's a lot of trolls that actually work for BioWare themselves, and that I think it was Alex. He had to actually come back and apologize later for deliberately misleading everybody. Moddable outfits. That's not a real update. That's just in the suggestion box. I didn't make that. Somebody else did. Locking your ship for your stronghold. Space station stronghold. Let's check this one out. This is an idea I had for a space station stronghold. I keep posting and reposting this idea and get no traction whatsoever, even though it would be one of the stupidly easiest things for BioWare to do. They just simply refuse to do it, and everybody just says it's a bad idea. Or they agree, but they're so drowned out by everybody, it doesn't matter. It's basically make a space station, let us choose which planet we want it above, and then have it like default conquest that planet. If we it like the conquest would only let us conquest that planet. Kind of like mid-level between guild strongholds and guild ship, price-wise. Your ship would dock there instead of the planet if you wanted. If your guild ship is in orbit, if you have one, and it would all kind of connect together. Whoa, don't want to scroll down and accidentally read anything. Work's already 90% done. They just don't want to do it. Let's see what else. This one, I can't believe how much this one blew up. I knew it was going to be controversial, but I didn't know it was going to be like 3 pages of controversial. I'm really not going to read this one. Actually, this isn't even my custom ship idea. This was my other idea, because I got sick and tired of people saying, "Oh, Well, if you're tired of getting your ass handed to you in Galactic Starfighter, just make your own pre-made. And I'm like, sure. Let me make a 12-man pre-made, and I will stop complaining. Seems fair, right? I mean, their troll responses. Make a pre-made. If you don't like it, my response, meow. My response is, let me make a 12-man pre-made. I'll fix that problem. I promise I will never complain again about a Galactic Starfighter match if I could make 12-man pre-mades. And believe me, I could put a 12-man team together. I can. And I will never complain again. I never will. I swear. And then you can turn the capital ships off. Leave them off. I don't care. I promise I won't need them. I promise you that. Let's see. This one 2.9 was screwing up. Talking about the gunslinger sniper. Oh, fix spam capping on November. Holy crap, that got 3 pages of responses? Okay, I'm going to read this one. Just lost another 50% to 0 to 2% because they spam capped at 2%. I've been complaining about this a lot. Let me guess, no AoEs, no one to push them back. Oh yeah, learn to play. Yep, all the people telling me that, like, I don't know how to play. Yep, of course. See, these people... Oh, look, and of course Rain. Rain, Sith Empire. You know, this is what I'm talking about trolls. This is why I don't read it. Look, troll post. Troll post. Troll post. Troll post. He's just being... This guy's joking, but he's right on. That being sad, AoE stuns. It's simply being aware of the other team and who's trying the cap. That's not true, though, because you can get all 8 people to spam the node at the same time, and because of server lag, they can cap the node. I have videos of it. They easily spam cap to crush them. This is called the paradox. It is. That's exactly why I made it. You must be trolling. Interrupt puts you on 4 cooldown. It's not all the team spam. It's usually 2, 3, 4. Probably it was your team's fault. With all the Sarks these days, it's not hard all the spam lightning storm. Except I don't run around with a 4 Sark team. Anybody's your friends. I'm not in favor of our changing this for everybody because you guys played bad. I must be joking. So sad. Troll post. Troll post. Troll post. Troll post. Troll post. Punish players for proper objective play. So spamming like right click on a node over and over and over again until the game just gives you the node is I don't even know who that is. But it's troll post. It's the only way for to troll. Oh, cool. Well, he's trolling me, but he gives me an 8 out of 10. That's pretty cool. Nice. Howie gives me a gold. Gold for the thread. Nova is one of the toughest to spam cap, especially 2%. Something about this panel makes it activate. Takes an extra second per the nose. If you lost 2% by spam capping your team is a bunch of bads. No, because the only way to get it back is to spam cap it again. Lesson not learned. Muscle doesn't compensate lack of brain as a troll post. I don't think it is, but a measure of threads created. Ooh, interesting. I have to think about that for a while. Ask your team to turn off their tunnel vision. This won't be a problem. Nope, it's fine the way it is. No, it's not. Easy fix, watch the node. So, again, this is why I don't even bother reading it. This is just three pages of nothing but people that are too fucking stupid to understand an extremely simple concept. Some of them actually know exactly what I'm talking about, but spam capping works in their favor, and so why would they want it fixed? Felucius Stato, that's a thread about, for some stupid reason, you can have 4 Felucius Statos, and nobody knows why. People aren't arguing about this, they're confused as hell. Secret drone, GSF ship balance. Here we go. This is the one I was looking for. Although, this one right here is one of my favorites. This person had a amazing idea. Just let people keep placing after their hook count's been full, but just make it not count towards anything past 100% so people can finish decorating their houses. It's a pretty simple idea. But I bet you it also has to do with server load somehow. Need unlimited hooks. Yeah. People have all kinds of different awesome hook ideas on how to easily fix the hook problem, but BioWare's ignoring them all. Here's one of my personal favorites, and then I'll get to this one. This enemy health bar is not showing up above their heads. People say that this isn't a problem, and that it was fixed like patches and patches and patches ago. It just happened to me again 2 days ago. Not a single BioWare post, and that's in customer service. And again, it's just full of trolls saying, "Oh wait, no, BioWare did post." Hold on a second. And they're like, if you have the nameplate switched off, you'll only see the names. Again, this is BioWare trolling their own customer service forum because they didn't bother to read. Is that the only BioWare post? Yeah, and check this out. Look at the date. Look at the date on this. 2012 is when this is from 2012. This BioWare troll poster. 2013, still around. 2013, people still having the problem, still having the problem, still having the problem. We're now halfway through 2013, still having the problem. Still having it, still having it, still going. We're now into like October 2013. No, still happening, still happening, still happening. Yep, see, they must have it on just like, and that's why I think, like, this guy. I legitimately think that maybe BioWare has, like, literally like an ignore button where they can just ignore threads because this just keeps going. So now we're into 2014. This guy says it works. I think he's I think he's lying. Because I can tab target. It used to be like if something wasn't line of sight that it wouldn't pop up. But now it's doing it to everything. It started doing it to me when Conquests came out. I can tab to mobs literally standing right in front of me and none of their information pops up. Still happening, still happening. Still happening. Still happening, still happening, still happening, still happening. So we're into like May now of 2014. Still happening. August 2014, still happening. There's me still happening. See, this thoroughly repeatable problem has existed for over 2 years, and still isn't fixed. Shake my head, raise his hand, no point reiterating, but yep, having the same issue. I'm just typing it out, but you can watch. So, yeah, this is awesome BioWare support that we have. So, cool. Anyway, I just wanted to address that one before forgetting it. So, this is this idea that this other guy had for a Galactic Starfighter training ground. I really like this guy's idea. Basically just like a big blank area for us to fly our ships around in. And then of course people just start arguing with them. But I think it would be fun to like if for the guild I could just open up a Galactic Starfighter area and we could all just fly around. Even if there really wasn't anything to do. Like kind of a little personal guild arena. People were relatively positive, and my thinking behind this was that I could like train people in like the little private GSF area, and then like if they gave you the space station that I was talking about before, or your guild ship, you could like play Galactic Starfighter around your guild ship. I thought that'd be really fun. Anyway, so let's go to the granddaddy. Where is it? Alright, this is my solution to solving Galactic Starfighter ship balance. People always say, oh, gunships are broken, oh, bombers are broken, oh, blah, 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 blah. So, again, this is more anti-micromanagement, because BioWare loves to just micromanage the shit out of us. So I know that they'll never do this. But basically what you'd have is a small, a medium, and a large chassis. Also, what this doesn't take account is the footprints. And I did not see that thread. Hold on. Alright, I found it. It's called, why aren't the player ship models full size? I want to talk about this one a little bit first before I talk about the other one, because the other one's not going to make sense. I know I've talked about, like, a thread similar to this many, many times, but this one's different. I think. I love what this guy says. They're custom built for Jawas, Ewoks, and Dralls, because as small as the ship models are, that's about all that would be able to fit into them. Holy crap, this is 11 pages. Now they're talking about the props, but eventually, I should have checked first. People weren't being super trolly. It was kind of constructive. And most of the time with these ship sizes, most people are being pretty constructive and supportive. I'm pretty sure this is the right one. But people are saying they're larger than they really are, and it's really subjective, and it's people just being, again, trolls, basically. Let's see, And the other thing, like, people are saying, I think they could increase the starship sizes, in strongholds anyway, by about 33%, and they would actually fit the hooks properly. They wouldn't be as big as they were supposed to, but at least they would fill up the hook. That's pretty stupid. Oh, I thought that was me, but I'm not that guy anymore. That little icon. Let's see. Crap, I hope this is the right one. Holy shit, I got a lot of people to ignore. These two people are fucking idiots. Shoot. Damn, that idiot. Okay. There we go. Shoot, I don't think this is the right one. Dang it. Oh, well, anyway, I guess then you've seen one more of the million ship aren't the right size threads. That's not the right one. Here it is, I found it. Why are gunships the same size as scouts? This just puzzles me too much. What is the justification? It's a great question, actually. Gunships are about twice as big as the scout, slightly bigger than a strike. A bomber is twice as big as a strike. Yeah, people say this, but it's not actually. I mean, I'm sure it's true, but in the game, it's not true. At least in Galactic Starfighter. And definitely not the decorations. So, the ships are all an illusion when it comes to firing lasers. You're only aiming at the lead reticle. There's no 3D collision detection of moving ships, lasers, missiles, nor any hitboxes. So, we get into a really, really neat discussion here. It's all about whether your mouse cursor was hovering over the lead reticle when you press the left button. If so, then it's all up to accuracy versus evasion, which is a math roll. The lead reticle appears to get bigger as you close distance, but honestly, I still feel like you have to be aiming at the small cluster of pixels in its center for anything to hit. Simply the way GSF's built. This is true. You almost always have to be aiming, but it's up to this math. You do have to get really close, but you don't have to be dead center. You have to be close for this math to start. So, I fired on ships without targeting them. Perhaps the leading reticle is hidden for untargeted ships if hitbox is truly absent, which raises a whole host of questions. So, why does the leading reticle seem to be about the same size for different ships? You'd think it would be bigger or smaller, like a bomber would have a bigger reticle than a scout, which has a very, very comparatively, like the bomber would have a huge reticle and a scout would have a reticle that's proper size. I play gunships almost exclusively, and bombers and gunships are way easier to hit without targeting, actually, even if the gunship isn't glowing. But that's not true. It's actually the same for all ships. It's just his imagination. Also, never target people on the gunship. The small square is easier to hit. And we get into why that is. He's right. You aim at a ship, quote-unquote, is just hitting the lead reticle, as well as a ship. Everything you see within the UI is eye candy. You're not firing on a ship model. You're firing on its last known position on the server. This is why laggers hop around the UI and why your misfired shots will land on occasion. We call that lag pedaling. But that's also why if you're too close to a ship sometimes, that you can fire right past it, but sometimes people can be inside your ship, like where it says like 0 meters, and they can still be hitting you. Some lasers seem to shoot from different distances and such because of this or because of something else. Like he says, there's zero physics involved. It's just scripts. Yeah, consider the observation that sometimes the enemy ship will suffer damage the moment you press the left mouse button, especially if you're playing gunships. Hit checks for lasers and railguns are all based on the shooter's client. If you're aiming properly at your screen, you'll hit, assuming you do the math roll. Check happens the instant you fire. That is, unless it's a missile. Yeah, and like he says, missiles are different. While you're locking on with the missile and while the missile's in flight, there's a constant round-tripping between your client and the server. Every trip, the server decides whether the target was still in your firing arc while you're locking on. If the target moves out of the arc, uses a missile breaker, the target client fails to update the server on its location in a timely manner, the lock will fail. And I don't know if people have figured out how to do this on purpose, but I have failed locks on people, and then I've seen missiles fly past me and hit them. In fact, Bob and I have done that many, many times, where I can't get a missile lock on somebody because it'll just fail, and then all of a sudden he'll have a missile just go and hit him. So anyway, I believe this is why missile breaks seem to break when they shouldn't, because the target client dropped a packet. Yep. Which is why also I think people hit their lag pedal and you can't lock, even though it's because like their ship is appearing and disappearing and lags, and its last known position is like somewhere else, and I don't know. Once the missiles fire, the animation for firing will complete by shooting a target no matter what. This is why missiles always appear to hit. Yep. If the target does not use a missile break ability for the missile flight duration, which I suspect is determined based on the distance between shooting and target when the missile is fired, and it doesn't change after that, then the missile does damage. Yep. And then he's asking for some changes, which are never going to happen. Proton torpedoes. Yeah, because those are like the longest ones. This happens to me all the time with thermite torpedoes. Whereas my sabotage torpedoes are so stinking fast and the range is so close that my sabotage torpedoes hit almost instantly. Whereas like people outrun my thermites all the time, which is why I stopped using proton torpedoes, because those are even worse than thermites. And then they talk about all ships seem to be the same in combat. It's a lot of people just kind of repeating the same thing because they're all in agreement and pretty excited that we're talking about something that's cool. The display is mostly accurate, I'd agree. There is a bit of physics going to calculating the point you should shoot as if you were actually shooting something. And he says you can shoot ships you haven't targeted. It's true, I've done that before, and it's even reasonable to lock onto target A while damaging your target B. I've never done that before, but that I also haven't played with missiles as long as some other people. And he's wondering, like, if you fly away from a torpedo, does it matter? And yes, it does. You can fly directly away from a torpedo and outrun it. They have some kind of fuel or time to live TTL, but I don't know what it is. I have no idea why the reticle isn't bigger. They have baseline evasion 0. is meant to model it. That's how the math's factored in, but it doesn't make sense. But that's kind of how they fake it. He asks if the devs will comment. You know, they'll never comment on anything anymore. Really think that they should expect accuracy and evasion to model this. You'd expect a close enemy to be easier to hit, but instead the reticle is the same size. Yeah, like the closer you get, the reticle should be bigger, but it doesn't happen. But your plus hit is much larger. Same thing with the distant target. Yeah. More importantly, the tech issues deals that you have to rebalance the whole game. This is why they can't do it. They could. And I don't think they'd have to rebalance the game. I think the game would just change. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. You're asking for simulator things. This is not a simulator. It's a tab and click MMO minigame. Yeah, I think we're asking for a lot, but I don't think there's anything wrong with asking for a lot. I don't think people are asking for a lot. They're just asking for the hitboxes and the scaling to work properly. You know, if your scout is next to a bomber in Galactic Starfighter, they're literally the same size, and it shouldn't be that way. If you're flying around a huge bulky bomber, it should be easier to hit. Especially because of the reticle, which I actually missed that part of the discussion the first time around. But yeah, a ship at 500 meters has the same size reticle as a ship at 14,000 meters. I don't know if it's accuracy scaling or the fact that ship lasers seem to have a mind of their own. Maybe those are both the same thing, just a different way of looking at the same thing. It's fair to say the ground game doesn't even consider target size, but GSF engine models them already. Yeah, it's true. If you want to keep pretending this is minor, I'm just... Sort of players go ahead. I can only say you'll never see anything like this in the game. He's just being a condescending prick for rain. Yeah. Let's see. I'm sure at some point I chime in. Oh, here it is. I get almost 100% accuracy on targeting the box. As soon as I put on the reticle, I miss. That's because the target's done, or the math is done on reticles, but it doesn't seem to be done on boxes as if you're free firing, which is one of the reasons why I didn't tab target when I realized how broken it was. I was tab targeting, so it would actually do the math properly, because I'm not all about exploiting. And plus I'd like it to be fair, because I'm a fair guy. Although a lot of people were yelling at me to use tab targeting. Those people were idiots and didn't realize it. I flew my bomber over my friend's gunship. They're all the same size. Has to do with the art file in relation, because basically if your bomber was bomber sized it would take up the whole entire screen. But what they could do is pull the camera back, and then that way, like, there's no reason why I couldn't, like, play my XS freighter, which is Lancer's starship, because it could just pull the camera back. Because if you think about it, everything scales just fine in ship missions. Ever realize that? Some of the fighters do look a little too big. But if you think about it, they're also flying like right at the camera. So your excess needs to look a little bit smaller. But for the most part, you know, you fly up next to like a Thranta class or like a destroyer, and you can tell the size. Whereas in Galactic Starfighter, everything still looks the appropriate size in terms of the super, super, super large ships, but all the small ships look exactly the same. And also, yeah, because the scope's ignoring the ship size. Which is funny, because you think if you would scope in on something that it would appear larger. But you notice you scope in and nothing appears larger. That's pretty funny. It's because all it is moving the camera, but nothing scales. And you'd think that like bombers and gunships are maybe, it's bad because like, oh, they're not the proper size. That's bad. But it's actually the scouts and strike fighters, because they should be way smaller than they actually are. And they're not. Everything being the same size actually hurts them. And actually helps the bomber and gunship being so stinking small. You can be shooting right at them, but because their hitbox is so small, like I've got videos of people pointing right at me and lasers and missiles and stuff flying right by me, even though for all intents and purposes they should have been able to hit me, just because my footprint of my ship is much smaller. But yeah, super easy to fix. Just move the camera. It's just an easy camera trick. And then just make all the ships the proper sizes. Easy fix. Oh, nobody posted anything after that. Oh well. So now with that being said, that's why the small chassis, medium chassis, and large chassis matter. So the small chassis would have low hull hit points, but high speed. Oops. And it would have all the what are currently considered the scout parts. So everything that you can put on any of the scouts now, you'd be able to put on this small chassis, up to 3. And then you'd be able to pick whatever scout art file you wanted. The medium chassis would be a medium hull hit point, medium speed, which would be like a, the nice kind of mid-range, kind of the starter ship. You'd have all the strike fighter parts, whatever you wanted. And then you can have an alternate primary weapon if you want. And then you're allowed 1 missile, or 1 railgun, or 1 mine, or 1 drone. Whereas the large chassis has a high hull hit points, but it's like really slow. You can have all the bomber and the gunship parts. Gunship parts can alternate the secondary weapon. And then you're allowed any combination of 3 missile, rail, mine, or drone. So if you wanted all 3 missiles, if you wanted like 3 different missiles, you could do that. If you wanted all 3 railguns, you could do that. If you wanted 3 different mines, 3 different drones, whatever. Or my personal favorite, if I could get like a thermite, mine, and earth, thermite, missile, ion railgun, and then like a missile sentry drone, I could make some really fun ships. And then when you make this ship, it'd be cool if it would give you like a little toy to fly around. So let's read some of the hate. Silly solution to an imaginary problem. Yeah, of course, fuck you. Also negatively impacts the income stream. Don't give a shit. This would make balance worse. Fuck you. I just want to throw in that this is the worst idea that has shown up on the forums, Raf. Oh, it's Varain. Fuck you, Varain. Why haven't I put him on ignore? Fuck yes, I want to put him on my ignore list. What a piece of shit. I was remarkably puzzled by this too, like somehow RP people server-wide would focus on builds that fit their character and not coincidentally RP that components their character use Sept and also be components everyone else uses. Is Jedi Covenant an RP server? See, that's why I always tell people to go look it up. So, like, some fucking idiot from a PvE server is trying to tell an RPer on an RP server what they'd want. Fucking idiot. Your opinion is invalid. So, anyway, of course, more trolling, but, again, just BioWare just micromanaging everybody into dog shit, just like they always do. And for them to say, like, oh, it would impact the financial... No, because BioWare is not making any money off Galactic Starfighter right now. People don't buy those ships. Or if they do, there's only like 3 ships, I think, that are actually for sale. Not counting the ones in the packs that you can buy off the GTN for nothing. So they're not making any money off this. But this way, if they came out with a new Scout chassis, then or a new, small chassis, Scout chassis, if everybody liked it, everybody would buy it. And then they could just throw all the parts on there. I mean, that would actually make BioWare more money if they came out with a medium chassis that everybody liked. It's not really hard. And they could just come out with all the Empire and throw all the Empires on the pub side. Throw all the pub ones on the Empire side. Just charge like $1 for each chassis. Something like that. I mean, it's like freaking printing money. Whereas, now, 80% of the ships, they don't make any money off of. So, it's like BioWare is just stupid. So many lost opportunities. So, anyway, I dived into the hate a little bit. I don't even want to read the rest. No, what the hell. Here, we'll go into the bonus round and read some hate mail. Your guild name invalidates any good points you might have had. Over the top or not, no lies have been spotted. We've reached the point where conquests have literally nothing to do with planets they're happening on. Oh, cool. Trader. I've actually heard quite a few people agree with me on other posts talking about this. The idea is great and it helps to organize gamers' playtime. Oh, I like that idea. But it has to be rethought from scratch. It's just a point chart at the moment of which guild can exploit and grind itself. Yeah. MIO, the way to fix conquest would be to make a character base as opposed to legacy-wide. Presently, if something is not repeatable, you can only do it once. That's ridiculous. It should be able to be repeated legacy-wide, but only once per character. That is how it is. They changed that in PvP sabotaging, but the Farmville at the last ops bosses is still standing strong untouched, as is spammable crafting. Well, spammable crafting's fine. Farmville at the last ops bosses. I didn't think about that. But yeah, I suppose that is possible. Huh, that's funny. I guess they figured because of ops boss lockout that wouldn't be abused. But you could get to the last boss and juggle lockout timers, which I've seen guilds do before. You really need to work on how you post things. There are good points buried under sewage. I found it really disgusting. Try to post where it doesn't sound like you have a chip on your shoulder, as if BioWare pissed on your mother's grave or slapped you in the face. Yeah, they might as well have done that. And I have like 50 bags of chips on my shoulders. Stupid ass. When the invasion was said from Des, my mind goes to something similar to SWG. I LOL when I see that invasion in SW2R was just rinse and repeat. Yeah, that's awesome. Yes, that'd be nice, but we all know how popular anything related to open world PvP is in this game. Well, that's because I'm on an RP server and I don't give a shit about open world PvP. Sorry, OP, I can't agree. I quite like the fact that the focus each week is different. I'm okay with the focus being different.
It's not different. It's not fucking different. Every the last 4 fucking weeks, it's been Ops, it's been fucking PvP Warzone, it's been fucking Galactic Starfighter, it's been fucking Flashpoints every single fucking week. It's not fucking different, so fuck off, you retard. Sorry.
But sweetie, he says that I shouldn't assume that I speak for everyone. Because it makes me look foolish.
You weren't speaking for anyone.
Yeah. He's a fucking idiot.
Oh.
It's another piece of shit from Jedi Covenant. Does that server just spawn fucking retards or something? It's these damn PvE servers that think that they speak for everyone. They're the fucking fool that's on a PvE server because you can't think for yourself and you need your hand held through your MMO. You should go back to WoW where you belong with all the other fucking followers, sheep. They need to add repeatable once per character objectives along with repeatable group finder. No, they need to get rid of that shit and add things that actually have to do with conquests. And then more people that are on my ignore list. Fuck it. Let's remove him and see what he has to say. Bran. But not sick enough to unsubscribe. Roll eyes. Yeah, that's why he's on ignore. Fucking idiot. And I am just about sick enough to unsubscribe. Okay. So, we read that one. Let's go read the next one. This is the one where I said, let's make 12-man pre-mades. This is what you should be doing? Question mark? It's a team game.
No.
What, making 12-man pre-mades?
That guy is really, really stupid.
Oh, I'm the one that's suggesting to make 12-man pre-mades. In Galactic Starfighter. Because people keep bitching. Here's the irony of the situation. Whenever something stupid happens in Galactic Starfighter and people complain, they go, well, why don't you make a group then?
What's the fucking point?
Yeah. You can only make a group of 4 people anyway, which doesn't do anything when there's up to 12 players. So unless you can make a group of 12 people, there's no point. And then this guy goes, this is what you should be doing, it's a team game. And you can't. You can't make 12-man pre-mades. You can only make 4-man pre-mades, which means the other 8 people could still potentially be completely stupid. So either they need to get rid of all pre-mades and get rid of factions. I know.
It's not a fucking option. Pre-made is not the answer to everything. That is so stupid. Don't work like that.
Well, and the biggest reason why it doesn't work like that is because pre-mades don't do anything when you've got this faction block. Pre-mades would work just fine if they would get rid of factions, but they refuse to get rid of factions, so there's no point to pre-mades. Because you can make the biggest pre-made in the world and then end up against the other faction, which is going to have either no pre-mades or a pre-made of their own that might not even get grouped up against you. It might get grouped up against all the pickup group players, and they don't make ranked Galactic Starfighter, and they refuse to balance the game, and they refuse to turn on capital ships, which is means you can just get spawn camped back into Oblivion, which happened to us the other day. And it's like, oh, let me put a group of 12 people together and I won't get spawn camped anymore by your giant group of people. Damn. Are people still pretending this is true? If a game played by a team of solo players, there's a difference. There isn't a single thing a solo player can't accomplish alone in the game. You know, proof that this is not a team game. Oh, strange. Rain posted something, but he's on my ignore list now. Fuck you, Rain. I don't get why removing turrets and power-ups would do anything about coordinated teams winning death matches anyway. Maybe be a little slower, but the results would be the same. Yeah, but at least you wouldn't get spawn camped. Like Bob, I think it was Bob, he spawned, and then they had blown him up before he even loaded. Like, his ship was still under computer control when they blew him up. And then people say, well, you can just choose the other ship to fly out of. And it only takes them a second to fly between the ships and blow you up at the other one. Or they can just mine both of them and you spawn and immediately blow up. If you are getting spawn camped, your team is already so outmatched that the other team has nothing better to do than wait for your respawns. Turning capital ships back on doesn't do anything at the point except make the side that lost have to play even longer. Oh, Maximus, you're such a piece of shit. I should have known it was you. I think the OP forgets that there are multiple spawn points. Oh, of course, someone always says that. You only get spawn camped if you allow yourself to be. It takes literally one click to change where you zone in. Does he not realize that the ships are like right next to each other? MIO, it is very unlikely that any team will camp all three spawn points at once. I have tons of videos of that happening. So you're an idiot. BT dub, it doesn't the spawn point change automatically now? So what's the issue here? It does not change automatically. It changes automatically when the game first starts. Also, just a side note, power-ups have allowed me, when solo, to really harass an enemy pre-made. Except you can't get out of your ship. So, note, if you're pissy about a bad match, you should stop and breathe first before posting. Your OP is dripping with crappy attitude, and nobody here responds well to that. Nobody here responds well to anything. So you're an idiot. I think that is only sometimes true. I'm not positive about this, but it seems like the spawn point's random unless I've actually chosen one in the match, and that defaults to the one I choose. It could very well be math.random, parentheses, trolling me, parentheses, there are only 3 spawns maxed. I've never seen it choose a hyperspace beacon for me after a death. That's actually a really good point. I wish it did choose hyperspace beacon sometimes. That would be pretty cool. But it's not random. The person who said it's random is full of shit. Just like most people on this forum don't know what the fuck they're talking about. The spawn point is random. BioWare has said so explicitly in the patch notes. Oh yeah, because their patch notes are right. Oh my. Fucking. This is what I mean about fucking idiot spawn friggin' fanboy BioWare fanboys. This is their patch notes. That's just a troll. Fair enough. Must be the math random telling me that, or I'm not dying enough to see it change often. Let's make 12-man pre-mades. Hell yeah. Except you can't. You can't make 12-man pre-mades. It blows me away how I suggested that I should be able to make 12-man pre-mades, and then people keep telling me to do it. You can't actually do it. I was being sarcastic. These oh my gosh. Actually, it's... Okay, this guy says it stops being random at any point in time you select a spawn point. From there forward, you will spawn exclusively from that point. Yeah, okay. If the outcome is inevitable, then allowing the new players to ability to safely spawn is far much better than killing them sequentially with moments of spawning. As has been stated in other places, there is a desire to broaden the population of players in GSF, and since we often fail to police ourselves when it comes to matching that are outright slaughters, there needs to be some sort of mechanism installed to give new pilots an opportunity. Yeah. It would be really cool if there was some kind of new pilot bracket. That would make it to where people couldn't twink the system, which is why they should just tie the ships to the account. That would be really cool. Getting slaughtered is hardly fun, and likely far more memorable in a bad way for new players than it is for those doing the slaughtering. So these threads will continue to pop because there's a valid point behind them. Thank you. And while simply turning on the turrets may not be the solution we seek, dismissing the issue with statements similar to the ones quoted above, in my opinion, is far more detrimental given we lack the proper training tutorials in matchmaking. Exactly. Coming from a guy named Rat Poison. So, well said, Rat Poison. Thank you. I've never seen this kind of spawn camping. Maybe it's because you have your fucking head up your ass, and you're on a PvP server, so I don't want to hear your opinion about Galactic Starfighter. More Varane bullshit, but thankfully I have him on ignore. Oh, this guy. Oh, I've seen it multiple times in the last week. The other teams hop on gunships and then line up and fire as they spawn. Yep, that's exactly what I was talking about. Thank you, Mr. Blackjack. Gunships aren't really as hard to deal with as everybody says. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Have you fought 6 gunships at the same time before? No. Also, I saw spawn camping last night. It was just the luck of the draw. Somehow, I wonder... Somehow? What do you mean somehow? The fucking matchmaker did it. A match was made between a team of fairly experienced and skilled Imperial pilots against what appeared to be a team of entirely free-to-play, or at least very new Republic pilots. That's what I'm saying. The pre-made thing fucks up as soon as it's Imp versus Pub. That's what I'm talking about. It was a massacre. We won by 3 cap. The other team was largely restricted to spawn points. This isn't some giant mystery. No, it's more dipshits from Jungma. Shut the fuck up. I think somehow Varane jinxed them. No, Varane didn't jinx them. Varane's a big piece of shit. The issue you describe is not a problem with gunships or new characters. If you're being held to spawn at 3 nodes, your team is vastly weaker than the other. That's like a copy and paste of every single answer that he has to everything. Every answer. That's why I have him on ignore. Every answer he says to everything is because you're too weak. That's his answer to everything. That's fucking idiot. He should be banned, but whatever. I agree. Oh, and this person named Tomato Squish agrees with him. I agree with that. However, offering some protection at the spawn will at least give them a chance to get out of the gates. Once you are that well camped, even a decent pilot doesn't stand much of a chance. You spawn and are immediately hit by a gunship, then locked down with 3 missiles by 3 different ships. You can pull whatever you want to get out of that mess, but it won't take long. Very true. That is if you can even get your client to load before they blow you up, since there's about a 2-second delay in when it gives you ship control, because it spawns you in the front of the ship or on the top of the ship where you're easily targeted. I try to do that. I frequently see individuals trying to spawn camp other individuals, and I punish them dearly for the really, how do you do that to your own team? Or do you mean you punish the other team? Wait, you're the person that just says this never happens, and then you say it do happens, And then now you're saying you punish people for doing it. Oh. If it's my own teammate doing it, I will politely suggest that they stop and move on to other targets for a while. If they continue, I /ignore. I assume that /ignore works for GSF matchmaking? What? Fucking idiot. Okay. This guy named Fractal Sponge, I've read his stuff before. He says /ignores. So far as I can tell, it does jack all in GSF. So you've seen people on your ignore list on your team? Good to know. At least I won't have to see what the camper griefers say. What? Who the fuck cares? Who cares what they say? They're they're blasting people away so much that they can't even play the damn game, and you care about what they say? What? Fucking idiot. Oh. There aren't... I can't even think of the words for how fucking idealistically fucking stupid that person is. These so-called matches shouldn't even start. Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion. This is a mess of the Stove Fighter, because simply not thought to rank anything, just group up random people. Once my team won a run with 50 kills, 10 about 6 minutes. Most boring thing the other time. My team lost 12 to 15 about 5 minutes. Apart from the sarcastic laughs in both cases, there's no fun at all. Yeah, I've had that before too, but it's usually those lopsided matches are usually pub versus imp, because pub versus pub matchmaking, imp versus imp matchmaking works a little bit. Sometimes pub versus imp matchmaking doesn't work at all. It just grabs the first people on each side and throws them in. Doesn't give a shit. Nor in quick losses, people starting 15 plus kills and the others that barely manage to push their forward buttons. This sadly happens more and more frequently lately with people running up for the conquest points. Very true. Camping and spawn points shouldn't be lit, and I still can't tell why they remove the battleship's fire running back to your base. It's the obvious solution to every damaged fighter, and if you don't move from there, you won't get any score. So what we need is a better grouping engine, if a group unless... Yeah, we do need a better grouping engine, but the first thing they need to do is get rid of faction. If they want to fix matchmaking, the first thing you need to do is get rid of the factions. I really don't care if I'm grouped up with imps if it makes the game more balanced in terms of players' skill. Ooh, fun. So, let's see, that was the bonus. All the fucking idiot trolls that BioWare just allows to shit on everybody. As you can see, though, there is a lot of posts about people wanting GSF fixed. What's the best way to deal with aside using 7 gunships? Or do gunship too. Bombers and draw them into us. No, you can't do that unless you can line of sight them somehow. No, because the problem is, even if you blow them all up, all they have to do is switch ships to something else. Because they can just keep switching ships all day long. yeah, basically the short version is that you need to be able to have bigger pre-mades if you want to deal with a well-organized team. You have to have a well-organized team. And since that's never going to happen without pre-mades, it's the only way to deal with it. But nobody's ever going to get good or become organized when every other game they're getting spawn camped all the way back to their spawn point and just leave. That's funny. This would work. Just hiding behind something would work if there was something big enough to hide behind that they couldn't just fly around by staying at 15,000 meters. That's funny though. If they want to get rid of the gunship farming thing, they have to change the map layouts. But if you change the map layouts too much, like jungle gyms everywhere, it would make gunships completely irrelevant. But yeah, if you had pods, if you can get through the railguns, you could nail them really fast if you had rocket pods. Since they can't move worth crap. But if you can get bombers close enough without blowing up, you can drop missile drones right on top of them. But one of the biggest things is there's no, like, point defense drones, there's no, like, shield walls, or like you could throw up like a shield wall and then like push it towards them. It'd be cool, but there's nothing like that in the game. So a huge wall of gunships is still the strongest thing in the game. For 4 players in a match, only allow 1 gunship and 1 bomber. I've thought of similar solutions like this, where they could make like super ships and only allow like 1. But if they wanted to make gunships and bombers some kind of super ship, make it more like a MOBA, where whoever selected it first was the person that got to play it until they switched to something else, then let someone else switch to it. That'd be pretty cool. I would support something like that if they would actually do it. So like in 12v12, you could only have 3 gunships and 3 bombers. It'd stop people from making whole gunship teams. And then as soon as their gunships get blown up, they switch to all bombers, which is really irritating. But yeah, they're supposed to be support ships, but they're very, very powerful. I've never seen like a 10-8 match. Usually one side or the other slips. And I don't think there's ever going to be cross-server GSF. If there is, that would probably be the end of GSF, because unless they made solo queue different from team matchmaking somehow, or only match up team for team or something. Oh well, we'll stop this one here. A couple of good scout pilots will make short work of 7 gunships. No. More Jedi Covenant bullshit. Shut the fuck up. Go back to your PvEing and being handheld on your nanny server. Fucking idiot. That's why I only do this every once in a blue moon, because I can't stand the sheer stupidity on TOR's forums. These people are just no idea. And they're allowed to just shit on everybody's ideas all day long. Make sure nobody's ideas ever get traction. Oh well.